Today in our 2015 Jeep Wrangler, we'll be having a look at and installing the Roadmaster Brake-Lite Relay Kit for towed vehicles. Part number RM-88400. Alright, with our Brake-Lite relay installed, what this will allow us to do is to flat tow our Jeep behind our motorhome, and when our towed vehicle braking system is applying the brakes, we won't have to worry about the brake pedal being depressed, overriding the turn signals if the turn signals are on in the motorhome. This way, if you have your turn signal on while you're slowing down to a stop, your turn signal will still work properly. Now, the way this works is with it tapped in to the fuse box, your brake light switch becomes active again when the key's in the on position on your Jeep, giving you normal brake lights just like normal when you step on the brake pedal. When the key's off, you don't have any brake lights anymore, so you can safely flat tow without having to worry about your turn signals being overridden by the brakes. All right, now that we've gone over some features, we'll show you how to get it installed. All right, the first thing we need to do in order to gain access to our brake light switch is to remove this panel here. We just grab it, pull towards us, set it aside. Now there's this other panel here. There's two 10mm screws. Remove those. We can grab the panel, pull up on it, pull it out. Okay, now we need to find the cold side of a brake light switch. The cold side is the side that has power only when the brakes are depressed. In our case, it'll be the white wire with the orange or brown stripe. Okay, with that located, we can now unplug our brake light switch so we have a little bit more room to work with. All right, to unplug our brake light switch, we'll just use a couple screwdrivers to separate the tabs. With those tabs separated, it pulls out. Okay, here are the two tabs that we pushed in with our screwdriver in order to disconnect the connector. So this is the wire that we'll be making our connections with right here. Just use a utility knife here and slice the electrical tape a little bit, exposing more of the wire. So the white and orange wire, we'll just cut it right here in the middle. And we'll strip back some insulation on both ends. Okay, now we'll take the blue butt connector that's in the kit. You'll need an extra blue butt connector. We have these available on our website. These are for 14 to 16 gauge wire. And we'll crimp it onto the end that we cut. And we'll do the same on the other end too. Sometimes it's easier to hold the butt connector in your crimpers while you're going in with the wire. Okay. Make sure that's on there secure, which it is. Okay, our relay wiring harness has 5 wires on it. We only need 4 of them. We don't need the blue wire. And the blue wire is only used if your car is equipped with a push button start, and our Jeep is not. So we'll just cut this off. Okay, now the green wire from our relay harness will connect to the butt connector that is closest to our connector. So we'll insert that and crimp it on down. Now the black wire we'll put in the other butt connector. Okay, that leaves us with our white and our red wires. Our white wire will be our ground wire, and our red wire will attach to about a 10-foot section of wire we have, 16 gauge. We have it available on our website. It's part number 16-1-1. It's sold by the foot, so just order a quantity of 10, you'll be okay. We'll strip back some of the insulation here. Twist this together, and we'll fold it in half, and we'll use the provided yellow butt connector that comes with our kit. Stick it on there, and I'll crimp it down. The red one will fold back as well, and we'll crimp that down. Make sure it's secure. Okay, now we need to find a location to ground our relay to. There are 2 ground wires already attached to our chassis right here, and these are factory ground points. So we'll be utilizing one of them to ground a relay. This is a 10mm nut on it. We'll remove that. We'll be utilizing a slightly bigger ring terminal than what comes with the kit. We have these available on a website. That way we don't have to drill any new holes in our vehicle. We'll just utilize what's already there for us. Okay, so we'll take our ring terminal and stick it over the white wire and crimp it down. We can now take our relay and plug it in to our relay harness. It's keyed, so it'll only go in one way. So you don't have to worry about messing that up. Just line it up appropriately and push the relay in. We'll now grab it, stick it back, and pull all of our wires through the dash, and we'll plug our stoplight switch back into position. Okay. Now we'll attach our ground wire to that stud, and we'll reinstall the nut. We'll tighten that back down. Okay, now the wire that we extended that we're going to pass through the firewall, there's a grommet right here to the left side of our firewall. This is where your clutch master cylinder goes through the firewall. If your vehicle is equipped with a manual transmission, you won't have this grommet there. If you have an automatic, this is the perfect place to run your wire through. And we'll just poke it through and bring it through in the engine bay. All right, we went ahead and zip tied up our wiring and relay up to a wiring harness over here, so it won't be in our way of our feet while we're driving, and it's tucked up out of the way where we won't see it. With our connections made underneath the dash, we'll reinstall our panels. All right, we're back in our engine bay now. We went ahead and ran our green wire across the firewall, securing it with a couple zip ties to an existing wiring harness. Brought it down along our negative battery cable here, towards the ends of our fuse box right here. We need to make our connection inside our fuse box now. So open it up, pop the lid off. Okay, we'll be utilizing this 10 amp fuse right here. I have the key in the on position right now. As we can see, the fuse has power. This is fuse number M33, and this controls our traction control module. So this is a perfectly good fuse for us to use because it's not related to the airbag system. So we're fine there. I'll turn the key off now and we won't have any power going in the circuit anymore. So we'll remove that fuse now and set it aside. We're gonna make a notch in our fuse box right here for our wire to pass through. Our wire will pass through nice and smoothly there. Measure off how much of our wire we're going to need. Cut off some of the excess. We'll strip off some of the insulation. Take our fuse holder, insert the wire into one end, and we'll crimp it down. We'll take our red wire that comes with our kit. We'll strip off some of the insulation from it. Insert it into the other end of the fuse holder, and we'll crimp it down as well. The other end, the red wire, we'll strip back and attach the provided spade connector and crimp it down. Now we'll take the fuse that we removed, take the fuse tap, stick it onto one of the ends of the fuse, take our fuse tap, plug it into the spade connector, and then reinstall the fuse. We'll run our wire down through the spot and make one other small notch right here. The wire to pass through completely. close the lid on up. And that completes our look at and installation of the Roadmaster Brake-Lite Relay Kit for towed vehicles, part number RM-88400 on our 2015 Jeep Wrangler. Click the link below to shop, learn more, or visit us at eTrailer.com.